on blast.
I keep bringing this up. We keep showing the stat about 5 years in a row the Toronto Raptors have won at least 50 games. And yeah, that's cool. But before that, they won 49 and 48 games respectively. So how much worse of a season is that, right? I say that to say this. 7 straight years of sustainable success during the regular season is something to be proud of, especially when you think of where this Toronto Raptors organization has been, especially when you as Raptors fans have think about some of the teams and players that over the years we try to talk ourselves into believing maybe they could win a round. And instead, you've gone the other way to where regular season success is just expected now. And why these last 2 games are important is because you saw the bench do it. You saw the fact that the fundamentals, the foundation that was built, again, by Masai and Dwayne Casey. I'm always going to big up Dwayne Casey for changing the culture of this team. That pound the rock shit might have sounded corny, but it's real when you think about how this team plays. But 7 years ago, when they built that culture and said, we're going to come out and we're going to bring it on the defensive end, night in, night out, we're going to bring the intensity, and if there's one thing you're going to know when you play the Toronto Raptors, it's going to be that you are going to be in for a fight because they're going to bring effort, they're going to bring heart, they're going to come out night in, night out, and they're going to play defense. And when you see that and you remove a team's full starting lineup and the bench guys are coming in and playing at the same level of intensity, that's when you got to take a step back and just applaud the man, the myth, the legend that is Masai, the god Ujiri, for the work that he's done. 7 straight years of sustained success in the regular season. But nonetheless, the Raptors finished this regular season with a 53-19 record. That is the best winning percentage in the history of the franchise for the regular season. That shows depth. And the reason I'm emphasizing all this is because I want people to look at this season and be proud of this season for what it is. Just focus in on this season in terms of all the injuries that you had to deal with, the man games lost, the fact that there was a massive pandemic that stopped the middle of the season and didn't matter. Nick Nurse and company held the fort down and you're off to the best season in franchise history. But the other reason why I continue to bring this up in terms of enjoying this season for what it is because you need to stop comparing it to last season. Because that makes no sense. Because I remember that last regular season did not matter at all. The only thing that mattered about last year's regular season was making sure that everyone was healthy when you got to the playoffs. That's it. There was this thing called load management, if we forget, right? In which Kawhi Leonard missed 20 plus games. Kyle Lowry was banged up. He missed about 20 games as well. There were injuries to deal with. If you remember, JV was out for a bulk of the first half of the regular season. All of these things went on last year just to prove the point that we here on this pod were talking about all last season, that the regular season didn't matter. So now when we get to this season, I'm urging people to just be happy with what happened with this season. You don't need to base it off of what happened last year and take it in terms of, well, this regular season was better than last regular season, so maybe this team is just as good or if not better than last year's team. No. That's not what this is about. This year's team is just good because this organization is good, and they've spent 7 years of building the franchise into what you see now. Because remember, the 7 years pre-Kawhi, go back to pre-Kawhi, this team was still good. But the problem was playoff time. When you get to the playoffs, did you have the horses? Did you, forget the horses, the main horse, the big dog, to say, hey, get on my back, I'm going to come out here and put up 28-10 while I'm hurt on one leg in the finals and win you a championship. That was the difference. So last year was about playoff success. This season is about here's where we are as a franchise where regular season success is expected. And I think that we need to take a step back and appreciate that for what it is. Last year's championship is incredible. It's amazing. Obviously, it's the best season to me in franchise history because it ended in a championship. Something that I personally didn't know if I would ever see. But the man, the myth, the legend, the god, Masai Ujiri did tell us we will win in Toronto, and he was right. Because he had the balls to go out and get Kawhi to make the difference in the postseason, to show us all what is possible in this city. So now, I beg you, I urge you, just take this season for what it is and enjoy this season for the fact that you had Pascal in his first year as a max money dude have a really great breakout season, or I guess follow-up season to which he made his first All-Star game. That's incredible. Kyle Lowry solidifying his legacy as arguably the best player in franchise history, if not the most legendary player in franchise history. Cool. Fred VanVleet took another step. You saw his glow up. We're seeing the glow up of Norman Powell. We're seeing the glow up of OG Anunoby. We're seeing the glow up of Nick Nurse in his second year as a head coach, being able to do the same things that he did last year in terms of mix and match his lineups on a consistent night in, night out basis. Enjoy that for what it is right now. That's all I'm saying. This is a great, great, great regular season, and don't let anything that's about to happen in the playoffs change that fact that this organization has now come to a point where you have a championship and now regular season success is expected.
On blast.